Well, education's in my family. My dad was a school board member for 29 years in Sibley. I have a brother who teaches Phi Ed down in the Dakota Dunes in South Dakota. I have cousins, aunts, and uncles who have all been in education. So growing up, it was always on my mind, and I saw how much my dad loved working for the school, and that was important to him, and it's always been important to me too. So I grew up in a little town, Ocheyedan, Iowa. I went to Sibley Ocheyedan High School. Loved playing sports, loved being involved. After high school, I went on to college, got my degree in science and science teaching, and my first job was actually in a little school by Redwood Falls called Cedar Mountain, and I taught middle school and high school science there, and then I moved back closer to home here in the Worthington School District and taught science for 5 years here, and this is my first year in the assistant principal roles. In some ways, a really big change. You don't see the same students every day. You don't get to build those really close relationships with kids, and of course I teach a lot less science in here than I did in the classroom. But I still like to bring it up because I think it's important. But it's a lot more about teaching behaviors and relationships than it is about teaching, the standards. In my mind, you're still teaching, but you get to impact a lot more students in this role. That's why I like it. Typically, I come in around 6:45. That's when students start to trickle in. It's good to get out in the hallways and meet students, greet them, see how their breakfast was, see how their weekend was, work on building those relationships, because it's a lot easier to have a conversation with the student in this room if I've had lots of conversations with them out in the hallway or in the lunchroom. So when the first bell rings and kids head to class, it does slow down a little bit in the mornings, and we get to check on attendance. That's another thing that falls under my umbrella, and scheduling for students. So those are things I'll work on. And then throughout the day, middle school students, you'll have a few issues. And so I get to meet with students one-on-one and help teach those behaviors and those expectations that we want to see at the middle school. This is a tough age for a lot of kids. They're figuring out who they are and also who they want to spend their time with, who their friends are going to be. And we see a lot of behaviors that kind of surround those issues that they're working with. A lot of conflict with friends, sometimes pretty minor, sometimes it can escalate and become, bigger issues where they need adult support, and that's what we're here to do, is to help them. Helping kids plan their schedules or helping them advocate for themselves to get help from teachers, and those are all things we try to do. Rewards, awesome. That's something we're really trying to bring back in a bigger way here at the middle school. Tony Bartman, our head principal, has done a great job with the good news call of the day. I've gotten to make a few of those, but she's taken the lead on that, and I think that's great to get that good news about a student out to the parents and the community. We also have our Renaissance program, which falls under my umbrella. That's kind of like our honor roll. That's for students who have a certain GPA, and they also have 3 or fewer office referrals. So they're leading the way academically and in a behavioral sense too. So we try to, as much of those negative conversations that we have to have, we try to balance that out with as much positivity as we can.